Boys, quit bickering. Don't make me come over there. Last warning.
Oh no! You didn't do the dishes when I told you to. You didn't pull out the chicken from the freezer. Quick mention, like, comment, subscribe if you like the video. I don't know, I got nothing else. That's it. I'm not streaming after to post this one, so I guess go follow that. Check out my Discord. It's got my whole schedule and everything in it. I have at least a half dozen more of these. So are you interested in Jade Stars? Let me know in the comments. Is there any specific builds you want me to cover? I'm gonna cover Ember next, I believe, because I just did a full guide for her, but then immediately found a better build, and it's frustrating. But here we are. Anyways, enjoy the video. Hello. Very interesting one for you guys today. Since you guys mostly know about the Jade Stars tech, let's get right into it. So the reason why this one's really interesting is because you don't actually have to interact that hard with the game. You kind of just stare at enemies. My hands are off my keyboard and they will die. You can just float around and things will just fall over. Yep, that's the build. It's very cool. It is the mom stare of death. It's fantastic. What are the mechanics here? So if I just spawn one manic bombard, I can turn on Optimize and see that it ticks a little bit of damage every time I stare at them. If I turn on Jade Stars, every time that tick happens, a Jade Stars gets thrown out. Then, because we run Symphony of Mercy with Power of the 7, we get to increase that strength of Optimize and of Jade Stars by another, whatever our percentage is. Typically, you'll snapshot this because you can upkeep it. You can choose to also drop her 4th glory in place of her 1, but it's cooler that you're flying around, in my opinion. Plus the survivability and movement and stuff that comes from it is really good. One thing to note, there is a certain range at which Jade Stars will just miss. I haven't figured out exactly what it is, but there are some enemies, maybe certain ranges and stuff, where Jade Stars will just harmlessly whiz past the enemies. Quick thing to note, Jade Stars can crit based off of Avenger, which then it also gains crit damage off of Crepuscular. So if you run both of those, you get way more damage. So first things first, we're running 5 Talforged Strength Shards. I just had these on Jade beforehand. I'm not taking them off for this build because I like the strength anyways, and it gives her more damage. And this is the build. So we are running Combat Discipline, Avenger, Crepuscular for our crit feedback loop, and then going invisible using our Horus Kubro. So we'll get into that in a second. We're running 274% strength with Transient Fortitude, Umbral Intensify, our 5 Talforged Shards. And then of course we're getting extra strength off of Symphony of Mercy. So we have plenty of strength for this. The higher strength, the better. Obviously for Jade Stars, for some reason this ability scales incredibly well with strength. Then we're running Archon Vitality. Surprise, it's a heat damage ability, ×2. We're running Equilibrium and Flow for our energy. Since we don't really need that much energy, it's pretty good to run with this. If you need more, you can probably drop Stretch and put in something like Streamline or something along those lines. Rolling Guard to drop any statuses that do get applied to us, because we are invisible, so that's our survivability. Prime Continuity for duration, and Cunning Drift for it a little bit more range. We do put it over her 1, but we do need healing. However, we do use our companion for healing. So we have our Smonko here, who is a Horus Kubro. We're running Mecha Recharge and Synth Deconstruct for our energy sustain and also Mecha set. Hunter Recovery for our companion dealing damage to heal us, which helps us sustain Combat Discipline. Tenacious Bond and Contagious Bond with Momentous Bond. We aren't running Duplex. I would put Duplex in. If you do put it in, you can put it over Animal Instinct or Resourceful Retriever. I don't like dropping these, so I'm not going to. And then Stock is our survivability as well as our increased damage. The reason why this is really nice is because you don't typically kill things literally instantaneously, so they're sticking around a little bit longer, so this does actually stay up. And then the Claws build really quick. It is just a typical Mecha Overdrive Hunter synergy. Now, if you see our stats are really high, that is because we are running a Paris Prime with this set, so critical chance and status chance with a Riven that gives us status and crit chance. This is not necessary. This is well overkill the amount of crit you need for Tenacious Bond. So if you don't want to run this Riven, of course you don't have it, just don't. It's not a big deal. Then we're running Grimoire if we ever need the strength. The build doesn't particularly matter, but crit chance, fire rate, and multi-shot help charge its alt fire, which is why we have this and our full build for that. And then obviously Amalgam Barrel Diffusion is really nice for movement speed, so keep that, and secondary fortifier sometimes helps. So, and then we're running Okina. There's no build here. It's just for the 30% movement speed. That's it. And then we're not even shooting our glory. The whole point is straight up just to look at enemies and have them die. Like, you can see how many heat dots that are going out. Any of the tougher enemies, sure, you can shoot at if you want. But, I mean, we have, like, you can see it critting here. You can see the actual crits of Jade Stars here. I'll do it one more time with a full group of enemies. If you want, you can group up with, like, Magus Anomaly. And then that'll kill way faster. But yeah, all the crits going off there. And they're doing almost 10k a tick. And then because they're each applying a status chance, or a status to every enemy within the radius of the Jade Stars, times 2. Yeah, so they're each applying it within a 6.4 meter radius. So grouping is also really helpful, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. And then a quick preliminary test just in Circulus here, just to fight against the highest level enemies we can find. And there we go. I'm not going to snapshot the Dax Ghost just because I wanted to show like a realistic situation. But yeah, so we're running the mecha set. So the mecha set will trigger every now and then and be helpful. Mostly because there was just not anything else that you really need in that spot. So, well-known Ophanamize strips armor. So we do get that damage bonus there for Jade Stars. We have just enough strength to strip in the course, over the course of 3 seconds when you use Sling Strength. So if you're actually upkeeping the Sling Strength and then upkeeping the strength into Ophanamize, then you can fully armor strip. If you are running out of energy, you can just not use her 4. It is like the thing that makes you run out of energy because it's just a drain. There we go, much better room. Yeah, you can see just after a couple of seconds of looking at enemies, not even. Sometimes it's just a second of looking at like 1 tick. Those enemies all die. And it's because of how much strength we're able to put into Jade Stars, as well as just how much damage they do in general. There we go. Now I'm getting energy. There we go. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but I kind of love this build. Out of the interactions with Jade Stars, I've noticed that a lot of people are making like the ones that are very obvious. At least to me, I've seen so many that are of just like the same 4 frames. Like everybody's freaking out over the first 2. I'm not even going to talk about specific frames, but there's a lot of people freaking out over a couple of specific frames that are broken in like 100 other ways anyways. Like, why? You don't need this. This doesn't matter. This doesn't increase or decrease the amount of like kills you get with those frames. Like, it just doesn't. I mean, it doesn't particularly do it here either, but it is funny. Those other ones are just like much more AFK, I guess, is the big thing. And I've got a couple more that are coming. I'll probably be able to post another one tomorrow and try to get a couple of these going. But this one I really wanted because it's the Monster of Death, man. Like, come on. Come on, man. And this is like a pretty optimized version of it. If you just actually play a little bit smarter and use the Grimoire and use Sling Strength, you can snapshot up to probably 100% onto Power of the 7, which will give you a ton more damage through just strength alone. But you can see, like, I'm pretty easily clearing like what, 150 kpm just by looking at enemies. And I feel like the enemies are not spawning as fast in this mission right now for some reason. I mean, it is genuinely strong. You can see even Xmas enemies sometimes just instantly pop. And then, of course, we've got our Horus Kubro. You can also use Shade, just FYI. I do like the Horus Kubro a little bit more because it'll be running around down there. And because we're flying, it's kind of hard for those enemies to get in range of the Shade. So, you know, it's one of those things. But I don't know. I mean, 1 tick is enough to do a couple million damage sometimes. Just... And then, of course, like I said, you're armor stripping, so the ease at which they do die. Like, this guy is a Shock Xmas with 100. He just took a 1.1 million heat dot after looking at it for just a couple seconds. It's a fun one. It really is. It's such a cool build. Oh, and here we get to see an Acolyte. If it's violence, you don't get to see it. Okay, it's Mania. If it's violence, he turns off my abilities, and then I get sad. But yeah, you can see he's super slow because of Ophotomize, and he's just dying over time. So, literally, it doesn't even matter. If you want, you can drop a little bit of strength for range. That will give you the ability to have a little bit, like, a lot more range on Jade Stars. Jade Stars actually scales pretty handily with range, so you actually do really like it. The explosion radius, specifically, scales up to 11.2 meters at 280%, but at 250%, it scales to 10 meters, which is really good. That's good range. That's good range, especially because it ignores line of sight, and it's multiple enemies at a time, and yeah. But yeah, obviously this isn't level cap, and I didn't go to level cap. It can. It can. It would be a little bit tighter, and you'd probably have to do some more shenanigans to make it stronger. But no, I mean, I was using this for relic missions the other day, and it's a blast. It's kind of fun. I just like staring. I just like mom staring at enemies and killing them and turning them into dust. It's just a good time. It's just a good time. That's it. I don't. This one's supposed to be quick. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.